There's forgiveness in your hands, a love so deep it understands. I wait for you, oh my soul, through darkest hour, you're my forgiveness.
Hey everyone, welcome to Beyond the Song. I'm Sarah, and I'm joined today by my co-host David. We're so excited to have you with us as we dig deeper into the powerful messages behind some of our favorite worship songs.
Hey there, listeners. David here, and today we're exploring a song that's been really speaking to both of us lately. It's called Forgiveness by ND. Sarah, I remember the first time you shared this song with me, and it just hit me right in the heart.
It really is a special one, isn't it? There's something so raw and authentic about the way ND approaches forgiveness in this song. It's not just about the concept of forgiveness as this lofty spiritual idea, but about the very real, sometimes painful journey of forgiving others and ourselves.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about this podcast. We get to go beyond just enjoying the music and really unpack the spiritual truths embedded in these songs. The lyrics in Forgiveness really challenge us to think about what it means to truly forgive.
You know, the part that always stands out to me is how the song portrays forgiveness not as a one-time event, but as an ongoing process. It's like ND understands that sometimes forgiveness is a decision we have to make over and over again.
That's so true. And it reminds me of Matthew 18, where Jesus is asked how many times we should forgive someone who sins against us. Peter suggests 7 times, thinking he's being generous.
And Jesus responds with 70 times 7, basically saying there shouldn't be a limit, right? It's meant to be limitless, just like God's forgiveness toward us.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this song so powerful. It acknowledges the struggle, that forgiveness isn't easy or natural for us as humans, but also points to the divine example we're called to follow.
I've been thinking a lot about that tension lately. Can I share something personal? There was a situation at work a few months ago where a colleague took credit for a project I had spearheaded. It really hurt, and my initial reaction was definitely not forgiveness.
I remember you telling me about that. How did you work through it?
Honestly, it was a process. At first, I was just angry and wanted justice. But as I sat with those feelings and prayed about them, I realized how much that resentment was affecting me, not them. There's a line in the song about how unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. That really resonated with me.
That's powerful imagery, isn't it? And it's so true. When we hold on to unforgiveness, we're the ones who suffer. I've experienced that too.
Would you mind sharing your experience, David? I think it could really help our listeners to hear different perspectives on this journey.
Sure. For me, the hardest person to forgive has always been myself. I tend to hold myself to impossibly high standards. And when I fall short, that inner critic can be brutal. There was a time in college when I made a pretty significant mistake that hurt someone I cared deeply about, and I carried that guilt for years.
What helped you move toward self-forgiveness?
It was actually another worship song that first opened the door, but listening to Forgiveness recently really solidified it for me. The lyrics about God's grace being bigger than our mistakes, that hit home. I realized I was essentially saying that my sin was too big for God's forgiveness, which is actually pretty arrogant when you think about it.
That's such an important insight. We sometimes forget that refusing to forgive ourselves is actually a form of pride, like we know better than God about what can and can't be forgiven.
Exactly. And the beautiful thing about this song is how it connects our experience of receiving forgiveness with our calling to extend it to others. The bridge section really emphasizes that connection.
Yes, and it makes me think about how forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing harmful behavior. It's about releasing the hold that person's actions have on our hearts and leaving justice in God's hands.
That's such an important distinction. Forgiveness isn't saying what happened was okay. It's saying, I'm not going to let this define me or our relationship anymore. I'm choosing to move forward.
And sometimes moving forward means establishing healthy boundaries, which is actually an act of love, both for yourself and the other person.
I hadn't thought about it that way before, but you're right. Boundaries and forgiveness can absolutely coexist. I think sometimes people avoid forgiveness because they think it means putting themselves in positions to be hurt again.
Exactly. And that's not what biblical forgiveness is asking of us. It's about freeing ourselves from the burden of resentment while still making wise choices about our relationships.
You know what I appreciate about Andy's approach in this song? It feels so honest about the struggle. There's no sugarcoating how difficult forgiveness can be, especially when the hurt is deep.
I agree completely. The authenticity makes the message so much more powerful. It acknowledges the pain while still pointing toward healing.
So for our listeners who might be in that difficult place right now, maybe wrestling with whether to forgive someone who's hurt them deeply, or struggling to accept God's forgiveness for themselves, what encouragement would you offer, Sarah?
I'd say start small and be patient with yourself. Forgiveness often happens in layers. And remember that feeling the emotions, the hurt, the anger is part of the process. God can handle all those feelings. The important thing is to keep bringing them to Him rather than letting them harden into bitterness.
That's great advice. And I would add that forgiveness is as much for you as it is for the other person. It's about your freedom. And sometimes it helps to remember that the person who hurt you is also broken in some way. That doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help us access compassion.
And for those struggling with self-forgiveness, remember that God's mercy is new every morning. His grace is sufficient and His power is made perfect in our weakness.
Amen to that. Well, we're running close to our time for today, but I hope this discussion has helped all of you connect more deeply with the message of forgiveness by ending. Sometimes the most powerful songs are the ones that challenge us to grow.
Definitely. And we'd love to hear from you. Has this song impacted your life? Are you on a journey of forgiveness right now? Share your stories with us on social media or through our website.
And join us next week as we go beyond another song that's shaping hearts and minds in the Christian community. Until then, remember that forgiveness isn't just a one-time decision. It's a daily choice that brings freedom.
Thanks for joining us on Beyond the Song. I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. May you experience both the receiving and giving of forgiveness this week. See you next time.
Out of depths, I cry to you. My voice is cracked, my heart is bruised. But there's forgiveness in your hands, a love so deep it understands. I wait for you, oh my soul. The darkest hour, you're my forgiveness. There's forgiveness in your hands, a love so deep it understands. I wait for you, oh my soul. The darkest hour, you're my forgiveness. Forgiveness.